So the big question is this: how are investors like us, who don't have a PhD in finance or millions to start investing, how do we grow our bank accounts to build real savings and retirements and yet still have the time to do what we really love? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. All right, guys, today we're running a little, we're getting close. We got to get to this class today. It's called GT Seminar. I'm not a huge fan of it. Essentially, we're learning how to make resumes, which I think is dumb because I don't want to work for people. And we're learning how to perfect our writing skills, which is dumb because I wrote a book. And we're learning how to speak, which is dumb because I lecture people on personal finance and investing. But I'll tell you one thing I'm never going to enter a classroom with, and that's a closed mind. You got to have an open mind. Be ready to do it. Be ready to get out there. And accept that there are people that are out there, they're just working their asses off to get quality information in front of you and educate you, which is so cool. And the people are so passionate about what they do, and that's amazing. And that's why you show up, you do the work, and you make the results happen for them, at least so they're fulfilled. But today, I want to talk a little bit about running late and also finding the right information to follow, because there is just so much information out on the internet, especially in the personal finance, investing, and day trading markets, 9-day trading markets. There's a lot of people out there, and it's a lot of information. I spent 3 years of my life going through a whole bunch of it, and I'll tell you what, none of it came as well as implementation, practice, and doing it. That was the number one way. I talked about it in the last episode. That's not what we're here to talk about today. What I want to talk about today is running late in the market, because I know a lot of days I've been a little bit discouraged, right? Where I might have had a conference call, I might have had some work, some stuff come up, I don't know. And instead of starting my trading days, at 9, to go from 9 to noon, I've been getting into the office, not often, but a couple times, at like 9:15, right? 9:20. And when you arrive late to the market, that's when some really interesting things start to happen, because it pushes your boundaries as an investor, as a trader, whatever you do, because it makes you go to this whole new landscape where you have to focus on the exact things that are going to produce results. You have to figure out the perfect way for you to do what has to get done in as short a period of time as possible. And a lot of the times, that means you cut stuff. And cutting stuff is so valuable, because it forces you to focus on the most important, the most applicable, the underlying principles that are going to work in your situation right now. And that is so powerful, because I know when I was doing these later morning starts, something really interesting happened. Was I would find my pre-market gainer screener, I pull up the top 5, top 6 promising stocks, I get them on the charts, and I would try to find as many support and resistance levels as possible before the morning started. Then something really interesting happened. Was all of a sudden, it didn't matter that I hadn't put in, usually, right, you want to put in that extra time, you want to put in the work, and you want to get all of your pre-market gainers charted very well with support and resistance levels, right? Which is totally true. Still stick by everything in 9 to noon without a doubt. But when you're rushing, and when you have to get it done, because the only way to go in front of the trading day is to get it done, right? Like, you don't want to take all the work you put in, take all the possibility, the immeasurable growth opportunity that's in the marketplace, and just throw it away and whisk it away for the day. Like, that's not the goal. That's not what you want to do. You don't want to waste the market day. Market days are the gateway into surreal and immense portfolio and financial growth in the marketplace. And they're the number one way to get out there, produce results that are unparalleled to any other investment, and crush it, right? So I never try to waste market days. I love them. They're amazing. I hate missing them. So I'll get in there and I'll do it, right? And you just have to stick with the stuff that freaking works. You have to find the screeners that work better than anything else, and you have to go hard on the stocks that are taking away and be able to cut out the stuff that doesn't work, or the stocks or the positions in any given day that are performing poorly relative to the benchmark index. All right? That makes sense? I think that makes sense. It comes through a lot of experience, but it's not just in 9 to noon stocks. It's not just in day trading, okay? Because I see the same thing in long-term investments, right? Whoa. Because with these swing trades specifically, there'll be these really, really great opportunities, these amazing trades. And the tough part about it is you figure out about them, but you only figure out about these great opportunities a lot of the times after they've hit their absolute bottom. And a really, really good example of this is UCTT, Ultra Clean Holdings Company. What they do is a whole bunch of tech stuff, and they're really, really cool guys. And they had this huge reversal, this huge down run last year. And this year, they bottomed out on the monthly stochastics. They bottomed out on the monthly MACD. And basically every signal said this is by all means on the monthly, on the weekly, on the daily setup. They're at the moving averages, 200 moving average, below it. I mean, everything looked amazing. By all means, it was a buy. Now the problem is, I didn't figure out about UCTT, and none of my trading friends, found it until it had already bottomed, and it bounced, had crossed over the MACD, and then it kept going through, right? So usually you'll buy when the lines touch, if the setup looks really, really, really nice. And so the lines crossed, but it kept going because we gave it too much time. We didn't know about it, right? So for about a month, the stock just was up and up and up. I think it was up about 30%. And I found it from the entry point, the lows, probably about 50% from the bear bottoms, but bear bottoms are very, very tough to find, very, very tough to time. So you just gotta do your best and base it on those technicals. And the really interesting thing about it is you now have options. You have two options. First option is to call it a loss, wait for it to peak, and then try to short it on the way down. So essentially just taking it as an extreme mover with a lot of volatility and using that as fuel to anticipate another big momentum move in the coming time period, based on the fact that it just had a super huge reversal. It'll probably go up a whole lot and then reverse again. The other option is to say, you know what, I know I'm a little bit late, just like in the morning, right? I get there, I understand that I'm a little bit late, but I still see the opportunity here. I'll tell you what, some of my most amazing trades are done under pressure. Because that pressure makes you achieve, that pressure makes you perform, that pressure takes you to a whole nother level. Sorry, it's a little noisy. It's okay though. Alright, I'll tell you what, Billy Joel song Pressure, that took me through like 15 computer builds when I was out hustling, building computers for people on Craigslist. I would say, hey, let me drop by your house, give me a couple $100 and I'll build you a computer, my man. The one thing that got me through all that, 8-10 plus hours just building people computers, was pressure. Because that pressure forces you to perform, forces you to show up, take your performance to a whole another level, where instead of waiting and saying, where are these results, you create those results because you understand the pressure. You understand that nobody else in the marketplace is going to do what you're doing. No one else is going to create the result that you want, that you visualize, that you believe in more than anything else. And that is going to give you this amazing ability to perform higher, stronger, more persistent than anybody else in the marketplace, which is super, super important. I'll tell you this one other story. I know it's about pressure, but it's also about deadlines. It's about achieving, getting somewhere late and saying, you know what, I know I'm late, I don't care, I understand, and today I'm going to do something very different. I'm going to actually take what most people would consider a disadvantage and turn it into an advantage. Let me tell you what happened, okay? So there's this scholarship. This scholarship posted by Toshiba called like the Toshiba Invent Prize or Flat Prize or something. And the winners, you create a team, right? And in your team, you get 4 to 5 people and from your school, and you compete. And they have like a middle school, elementary, and then like a high school competition bracket, something like that. And when you compete, what happens is really interesting. The winners, for the winning team, every single person, they get $10,000 in savings bonds to use for college. So you get like $50,000 if you win, which is awesome. So figured out about this prize when I was writing the book, and for those of you guys who don't know, I took a month off from writing the book in October to apply to like 70 colleges, and I think about like 100 scholarships, 140 scholarships, something like that. Very happy to report that I got 0 scholarships to any of the schools I applied to. Whatever. You get the scholarship for the schools, but not the private ones. Maybe because I'm a white male, I don't know. And then I didn't get really good scholarship at Georgia Tech, but I got in-state, so whatever, right? So I took the time off in October because I knew that it was really, really important for me to, get the book done, right? So I was grinding super hard before October, super hard after October to meet that Christmas Eve deadline to finish the book and get it into the marketplace. And there's something really, really interesting happened was the scholarships. I was getting close to the end of the month, and I was running up on my deadline to finish that stuff. I figured out about this scholarship competition, and with the scholarship competition, what happened was really, really interesting. And I wasn't able to do it, but I saw the deadline. I put it on my calendar, and then I got to writing the book. And then a couple months passed, finished the book, write all the annotations in the book, which were really, really fun for a couple of weeks. And then I publish it, do all the artwork and all that great stuff, publish it by the deadline, which is January 29th, which is awesome. Got it in there, got it done, which is great. And after that, the book is done. I finished all my college follow-ups, let everyone know, hey, wrote this book, you should let me in your college. And that was that. And then I turn over to my calendar and I see this scholarship contest. So I think, oh, okay, sweet. So I go and I read all the rules, and I learn that the contest is 4 to 5 people. And I think it was Wednesday morning, about 4 a.m. When I read that document, I learned about what the contest was. You had to design a really sweet PowerPoint. In your PowerPoint, you had to present an idea for an invention or something, and why it would be the best thing ever, and how you would research it and grow it, stuff like that. And so made sense. And then I realized on Wednesday morning that it's due Friday at midnight. So this was a competition with hundreds and hundreds of schools competing, and it was, from what I could tell, one of the most important competitions in a very, very big area, because it was a whole lot of cash for a whole lot of people up for grabs. So I'm like, okay, I'll tell you what, I got a team together that day. I went through 9 people. 4 of them couldn't do it. One of them, or 5, something like that. I got 4 of the people on board. It was amazing. We got together after school. We got a teacher to get on board with it. And I got everyone together at the end of the day, and we printed out 5 copies of what the outlines were for the project and how we had to finish it. And that was that. So gave everyone their things. We started brainstorming, masterminding for about an hour, 2 or 3 hours after school, just hiding away in the lab, the tech lab, library, whatever. And we planned that we were going to do our whole thing on the aerospike engine, which is this cool rocket technology where like the engine works in all phases of the atmosphere, so you don't have to have a 2-stage or a 3-stage rocket. It just goes all at once, works in space, works on Earth. Some cool technology. So we decided that's what we're gonna do. And so take that. That's a project. We brainstorm it, and then I kind of like delegate out all the work and figure out who should do what makes sense for people to do given their skill sets and talent. And then we go home and we start going, make a Google Doc, and we got to make like a 12-page report and a PowerPoint in a span of about like 72 hours, which was awesome. You know why it was awesome? Because there was pressure. We had to perform if we were going to get even a chance, at the scholarship, even a chance to compete at this level. It was all based on our ability to make this project come together by a deadline. And that deadline was not going to be something to be taken lightly, because deadline was midnight on Friday, so we had to get it done. No option. So we grind super hard all night, then in the morning, then we get to school the next day, and we plan it out. We're going real hard, we're going, because we're competing against people that have been creating their projects for 3, 4, 5, 6 months at a time. And those projects, we looked at some of the past winners and they were really good. So we had some competition against us to go up and perform with, right? So we go super hard, and then Friday comes along, we get together, we meet up, we go over everything that had been done so far, everything that needed to be done. We take that, we say, okay, sounds like a good idea, sounds like a plan. Let's make it happen. Get home that night, something really, really weird happened. It's after a cross-country practice, I think. Ow! And so I pass out for just a little bit, which is kind of crazy. Not usually like me, but I don't know, man. It's weird. Wake up, it's like 5 at night, and I'm like, uh-oh. So I know that we gotta get this thing done. We gotta go. So we get on a conference call, sort of like me right now, trying to get to class in like the next 3 minutes before it starts. You got that deadline, you got that pressure. You have no option but to make it happen and to make it work. So that's what we freaking did, man. We grinded super, super hard all night. Everyone on this call, and we got a whole bunch of work done, which is awesome. I get all the work together. We finish all the crucial parts. We have to cut out some parts that aren't as crucial. You know why? So we put ourselves on a deadline. That deadline forced us to figure out what mattered. It forced us to get the stuff that was important done on top of the stuff that didn't really matter too much. And that's what pushed us to that whole little level. We got everything going, grinding super, super hard until the end of the night. It's about 12:40, 50. And we have most of our stuff done, and we start putting it all in this final project to submit by midnight, which is the hard deadline. We got to get it done, just like I got to get to class like right now. And then we had a problem with Adobe. We had a problem with getting the whole thing together, which was really, really crazy, because that was not the goal. That was not the thing. In those last 5-10 minutes, it was so crazy because I was the only one that had a computer with Adobe on it, right? So I had to pull through at the end and like seriously get this thing together. I had to make it work so hard to this whole level of competence. So we get the PowerPoint together, we get the paper together. I have to learn how to use Adobe for the first time in forever, because there was some really weird glitches, super big pressure to like get it done, and I was having a tough time getting the pages together at the same time as a whole lot of the amazing artwork that they had made and everyone put together. And in the end, we freaking at the dot, we're pushing so hard, and we get it on the website. We submit it at 12:59 and 45 seconds. It was crazy that I had done right at the deadline. Those deadlines are so ridiculously powerful, and they'll change the way that you perceive the things that you're working towards, and push you to this whole new level of growth and achievement compared to the benchmark, because they put you on the spot and they make you realize that all the work is for nothing if you don't fulfill at the end. If you don't complete the deadline and the goal, and you make it work so well that there is no option but to see you as someone who's fulfilled in the marketplace and done exactly what you want to do. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Bye. Want more stock market secrets? If so, go get your free copy of my best-selling book, 9 to Noon. You can get your free copy plus $11,176 of unannounced bonuses completely for free at 9tonoonsecrets.com. Inside 9 to Noon, you'll find the top 38 secrets we use to double our portfolios every 2 years and make upwards of 10% per trade daily.